Well, if you believe that it's a game of matchups, and a lot of times I do believe it. I believe in that. This has been a tough matchup for us. I told Frank after the game at South Carolina that he must have my number. Not talking about my telephone number either. They won 4 out of our last 5 meetings. We won here at Auburn my first year at home and haven't won since. I think what they do defensively has bothered us. It bothers a lot of people. They overplay. They just don't let you throw the ball from A to B and B to C and C to D. And so you got to figure out a way to get the ball entered and moving because of that overplay. You got to take advantage of backdoor opportunities. We tried and failed way too often the last couple of years. They force you to make plays off the bounce, but the difficulty with that is it's hard to get the ball to Mustafa. It's hard to get the ball to Bryce. It's hard to get the ball to our other playmakers because of that overplay. Teams that have beaten South Carolina are teams that do very well defending the post with good size to kind of neutralize Silva. That's obviously been a problem for us. And teams that are able to hold South Carolina under 70 points win. South Carolina is 13-1 this year when they score more than 70. And so those are all the reasons why it's a tough matchup for us. Yet and still, our guys are excited about playing for a championship. Our guys are excited about having the opportunity to win a championship for the first time in a long time. And it's something that you dream about. And we have a chance for it to become a reality on Saturday. So we are really excited about it. The last 2 losses at Florida and at Arkansas, those 2 teams are like in 3rd place in our league right now. And so winning on the road at number 3 is tough. And we did not play well enough, or both Florida and Arkansas did play well enough to secure those victories. So I'm not concerned about that as much as because I do grind and do take it one at a time, as I'm concerned strictly about just the matchup.
Bruce,
Questions? You guys can ask questions too.
Bruce, do you think your team's in a shooting slump, or you think it has more to do with the injuries and the way teams are playing you and things like that?
I'd say probably a combination of both. Mustafa's certainly not in a shooting slump. He's playing great. Bryce, since Bryce's injury, his percentages are down. So obviously his foot, the shoulder, his getting his time in the gym, all those things are factors, along with how people are guarding him. So you put that all together, and I don't anticipate Bryce staying in a shooting slump. He won't. We're obviously better when our 3 leading scorers are Jared, Bryce, and Mustafa. And their ability to shoot, all 3 of them, their ability to shoot the ball is important to our chances to win.
How is Bryce doing this week?
Good. Yeah, he's doing. He's getting healthier in time. In other words, sometimes I think sometimes with injury, you never get ahead of it because you're playing so many games. Last week we had 3 games in 6 days. Alabama, at Florida, at Arkansas. It's a pretty tough schedule from a standpoint of not only travel but preparation. And yet he felt better yesterday physically than he did last week. So the 3 games didn't set him back at all.
How important is it for you guys to score off of steals and block shots in the transition game?
Well, it's a big part of what we do. We're an up-tempo team, and we love to go run in transition. And again, in transition, defenses aren't set. Size doesn't get to the basket. South Carolina's got really good size. They have big guards. They have good, big. Silva's a tremendous rim protector. If you're going in transition, he's getting back in transition. He's not sitting there in the middle of one of their zones or coming off a ball screen coverage. Just you create an advantage, disadvantage, and all of a sudden you get to the rim and he's at the rim. Now longer there's no longer that advantage disadvantage. So, yeah, transition is important. Creating turnovers is important.
You talked about having to play 3 games in 6 days, and now you have 3 days off before the next one. South Carolina had to go to overtime last night. How much do you think that's going to be an impact? You guys getting a little bit more rest before this one?
I think it'll help us. I don't think South Carolina playing in overtime will have any effect on them Saturday, but I do think the extra day will help us.
Shuma had, back-to-back double-doubles. I guess game before last, and then only 4 shots against in your last game. Would you like to see him a little more involved in the 4 shots he took against Arkansas?
Yeah, I would. We're best when everybody contributes. We're best when we have great balance, and I'd like to try to get back to that as best we possibly can. If you look at our big wins, it's when we had great productivity off the bench, really good numbers off the bench, and so, in other words, our best players need to play well, but they don't need to carry us. We play best when they play well, but the other guys are also involved.
This will be the last home game. How important will that be for you guys? What kind of crowd do you expect to have Saturday?
Well, they will have a great crowd Saturday. The crowds have been wonderful all year long, but I'll just say we got, I think, 10 or 11 wins away from Auburn Arena. So we've been a team that's been able to travel and win. Yet I think we enjoy the best home court advantage in college basketball at Auburn Arena. It'll be an emotional day for the seniors. Pat Kime will be honoring him along with several of our managers. Pat's had a great career at Auburn. I've told the story before, but I'm going to tell it again. Our job as coaches and teachers is to help you get from here to there. That's what we do here at Auburn. We try to help you. You come to us, and if you're willing to work hard, for me, it's are you ready to focus on your books and your Bible, your basketball, and your body? And if you do those things, as we go through this process, let's see where we can get you to when it's time for you to leave. And Auburn, Pat was an extremely accomplished high school player. He played for one of the premier programs in the entire southeastern part of the country at Mountain Brook. Great coach, won a state championship, boxes checked, one after another. And then he came to Auburn, he tried out, he made the basketball team. A lot of people didn't think he was good enough to make the SEC, not big enough. Check that box. And then because we weren't very deep, he played a lot as a freshman, in the SA, checked that box off. And then in the last game, we're playing in the semifinals of the SEC tournament, and he's playing against Kentucky, and he knocked down, I think, the last shot that we took, and it was a 3-ball. That's another box. So when the season was over, I mean, how much more could he accomplish at Auburn in basketball? How much more could he accomplish? He knew recruiting was getting better, and his chances to play would probably be reduced every year. And so he came to me at the end of the year, of his freshman year, and he said, I think I've done everything I wanted to try to do. And, of course, that's our job. And I'm not sure, but I may want to try to focus on some other things. His ministry as a leader of Church of the Highlands. Academically, he's a brilliant student. An engineering major, which is a very difficult major. And I said, Pat, I respect that, and I appreciate that. And I said, look, I always make better decisions when I have more information. I accept your decision, but I want to give you some time. Take the summer off. Take the spring and summer off. Get away from basketball. Go do some of those things that you want to do. But if you truly want a ministry, then let this be your ministry. And Pat has been an amazing minister in our locker room, an amazing representative. He came back at the end of the summer and said, I'm going to use this bully pulpit to do what he does. And so it's not your typical senior story, but it's a really good one. He's meant a lot to us.
As a guy who's done some broadcasting, what do you think about what it means to SEC to have 2 teams that weren't getting a lot of national buzz, kind of going into the last day with the title at stake?
Well, I think it speaks, first of all, it speaks to the job that Rick Barnes has done. Rick's a good friend, And of course, I spent 9 years at Tennessee, 6 coaching, and got a lot of friends there. And I told them that they couldn't have hired a better guy or a better coach when they hired him. And to have been picked near the bottom and to finish at or near the top is just a tremendous accomplishment. And he'll get my vote for Coach of the Year. I think that what it says is that's why you play the game. Let's let these kids decide. Don't put a crown on anybody before you get out there and actually put the balls out there and see what's up. And so that's what we've done all season long. And that's what Tennessee's done. I think the common denominator, both those teams play hard. Both those teams are never out. They bring it every night. And I think that's what's allowed Auburn and Tennessee to sort of survive the grind of the best conference in college basketball, of one of the best the SEC's been in I don't know how many years, bottom to top. And to be in the same conversation with Tennessee and the kind of year they've had is a conversation I want to be in.